to a different universe.
Yeah, I didn't like that, but you know.
All right, the next issue we're gonna review is issue 160 of Avengers, which features the new Grim Reaper and Simon Williams in the Vision. Simon Williams. Now, if you don't know who the Grim Reaper was, he was Eric Williams, Simon Williams' brother, who just decided to wreak havoc on the Avengers because they had supposedly killed his brother. Now, what happened was Wonder Man was brought back to life. The Vision had already had his Wonder Man's brain patterns programmed into him. So the two were had almost exactly the same personalities. Now, the Vision and Wonder Man were captured by the Grim Reaper along with the other Avengers. They were all unconscious and had these energy gauntlets placed around them that would explode if they didn't comply with this trial the Grim Reaper set up to see which one was his real brother. Now, he determined he could not reach a verdict during the trial because the Black Panther outwitted him and managed to deprogram the gauntlets with the help of Beast. But the cover is sort of misleading because the Grim Reaper says the verdict has been reached, one of you must die, whereas the Grim Reaper never actually reached a verdict. He just was confused and decided he was going to try to let them both live, but then Simon destroyed his reaping scythe on his left hand.
With covers back in those times, the 70s and early 80s, I would say I see an ongoing theme as if they were very misleading.
Yeah,
Anything to say about that?
I would agree. We've seen a lot of that in our reviews.
Yeah. Okay, so my next review is Ultron. It's a Age of Ultron tie-in, but it's a one-shot. It features about this kid. I don't remember what his first name is, but he's part of the Runaway team. And so they go back to, like, their base, and they're, like, the team's all together and talking, but Ultron goes back into his, like, room, and he has to plug in to get new data and stuff. But then one of the Runaway team members finds out, and she's very shocked, and she immediately wants to hurt him because she thinks she's one of those, as she says, one of those things, which is referring to, like, the Ultrons.
Yeah, I thought this issue was kind of weird because it left you, like, on a big gap.
Yeah, it left you hanging.
This kid says that he was in a relationship with this one girl who, we don't know what happened to her. All he has left is like a hologram of her he programmed. Was she a machine? Was she a person that was killed by Ultron? We don't know how he was created. We know he was created for Ultron. We don't know why he was created, how he was created, where these runaways came from, how they survived, how they were hidden. It's a really big gap in the Age of Ultron that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I feel they would have been better leaving it out or adding more detail.
Yeah, I feel like it shouldn't have been a one-shot. It should have been maybe a mini-series. I mean,
Yeah, 4-issue limit.
It kind of made me want to go and read Runaways. I mean, in the beginning, I'm not all that interested with that, but after reading this little one-shot, I want to know what happens or what this Vision is. I mean, kind of leaves you on a hanger there.
And this is just probably going to be a big lead up to the Age of AI, which you saw the ad in.
Yes, the Age of
Dark Knights.
AI.
Which is supposed to be an ongoing series, but I
mean, considering the team features, the Vision, that looks maybe like Black Widow, Hawkeye. I'm not sure who that is. The new Doctor Doom. I'm not sure who these two are. And two other characters.
So it looks like this might be a fail-safe plan set up by Ultron. Okay, so the final issue we'll be reviewing is Smoke and Mirrors, Part 2 of 3, issue 399 of Amazing Spider-Man. This issue was probably one of my personal favorites because it features Ben Reilly, the Scarlet Spider clone, and Peter Parker. And they go to the Jackal's laboratory, meeting several clones of Peter that have been genetically altered. And when they get there, they find multiple cells. One that contains a Jackal, a man in the Jackal costume who claims to be the original Miles Warren. Claims. Now, I have not yet bothered to continue the series. From what I understand, he is actually a clone who is pretending to be the Jackal. But this issue was probably one of the strangest issues I own because when it ends with the Jackal opening the wrong containment cell, not the original Peter Parker cell, which he says he has, but the cell containing the original Gwen Stacy, which I find is very odd considering she supposedly died. We've had several scenes of evidence where she's been dead, showing that the Jackal may be some kind of compulsive liar.
Yes. Anything else to say? I haven't read that issue, so. Okay, so now we're gonna review graphic novels, and so my review is Spider-Man, where the Miles Morales, the Ultimate Comic Spider-Man, meets up with the Amazing Spider-Man, and how this happens is Peter Parker, as Spider-Man, he goes to this abandoned warehouse, and he sees a big light shining up over the city, and it turns out Mysterio's there. And so Mysterio is there, they have a battle, and the portal is to go to another universe or dimension. And so, Mysterio kind of kicks Spider-Man off, and he goes into the portal, and Mysterio's like, oh no. Then, after that, Peter Parker ends up meeting Miles Morales as Spider-Man. Anything you want to say about that?
Yeah. See, I've read some preludes and I've read a couple of the issues, but I have never really pieced together the whole thing. But I felt that Peter Parker, when he came into this universe, he was shocked to find out that this Peter Parker of this universe was dead, because he supposedly considered himself immortal or unkillable, showing that he may be trying to reference to break the fourth wall, which, if you don't know what that is, it's when a comic character, which Deadpool does all the time,
yeah,
a comic character realizes he's in a comic.
Deadpool's a great example.
Only two people have ever really done that.
That and She-Hulk.
Deadpool and She-Hulk. But, alright, now the graphic novel I'm going to be reviewing is before Spider-Man, but in the same universe. It's the Ultimate Spider-Man Clone Saga, which no one really knows about. I don't know why.
Okay. Before we continue, by Ultimate Spider-Man, he means, before Ultimate Comics Miles Morales, before him, and I guess just wanted to clear that up for people who don't know.
Okay, so the Clone Saga was, if you've ever read the original Clone Saga, you know it was Ben Reilly and Kane, which are just two clones, but there were multiple made, which Peter Parker had to duel and overcome his, what was considered a multiple personality disorder at that time, was actually just all the clones forming distinct personalities from Peter Parker. So in this, Peter fights a clone of himself, which is thus with the Scorpion, which is in a Scorpion battlesuit, to be considered as the new Scorpion, which actually was one of 5 clones. Then, which is even stranger, a clone named Kane shows up with a half-melted face and kidnaps Mary Jane, injecting her with Oz to create the new Demogoblin. Then Gwen Stacy shows up out of nowhere, because she's the new Carnage, because Carnage has been turned into a clone of Gwen Stacy. You have to read the original Carnage issues. And the original
you probably should.
Doc Ock
It would definitely make more sense.
Then this 6-armed clone of Spider-Man shows up and fights Kane, and supposedly has his neck broken, but actually survives. And a female clone called Spider-Woman shows up. Now, all these clones turn out to be products of Dr. Otto Octavius, who kills off the 6-armed one and puts a stake through the Kane clone's chest. Then the Scorpion one's brought into custody. The Spider-Woman one escapes, and a 5th clone is discovered, claiming to be Peter Parker's father, which is considered him until it is found out that
he's not.